Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sequoia Project podcast, the podcast dedicated to talking about the ins, outs, ups and downs of business.
Whoa.
Fuck.
Right off
Ruined
the
it.
line. The gun went
Ruined
off.
it. Yeah, I'm leaving the podcast. We are in here with episode 5 now.
Is this episode 5?
Yeah, we're up to episode 5 now. It is
Cool.
doesn't feel like it.
It actually doesn't. I'm actually surprised that it's episode 5, but cool. All right. Anyway, yeah, we're on episode 5.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
again, my name's Coby. I'm joined with my co-host Dale.
Yep.
As always, and today we're going to be talking a little bit in regards to a lot of personal stuff we've learnt in business. So not just generalized stuff that's actually been important to us, that's helped us along with our business journey. I didn't do my homework.
That's the first
I'm
thing.
going to call myself out here before you
I was going to dob you in then. I was 100%. As soon as you stopped talking, I was going to just lay into you.
I knew you were going to. Which is, now that I'm the host, I'm going to throw it over to you first because you said you were going to do it.
Clever.
To me.
Clever. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I think we'll just explain a little bit about that. And I think the reason why we wanted to talk about that today, or at least have that, and like we don't do, just so everyone knows, we don't do like a ton of planning for these things. Like we want this to be fun and organic and kind of like just feel like a conversation that you would have with your mates down at the pub or whatever, about business. So we just kind of give each other a few talking notes, and that's like just like a rough guideline. And sometimes we don't even use it. I think 2 of these we just haven't even talked about anything we wanted to talk about on the list. Yeah. But so the reason why we're doing this is because obviously the first few episodes, the people that are going to listen to this, we kind of want to have a nice cadence, like an upwards trend, which, if we just started talking about year 6 in business, people that came and found this, the people who are searching for this kind of stuff are people who need the information. Those guys are people starting in business. So we're just going to have this nice cadence going up. And like before you go spending money, before you go taking out business loans, before you do anything like that, these are the things that we want to highlight that you can do for free in your own home. And, you don't have to, be, there's no risk to them. You can just see rewards straight away. So that's why we want to talk about this kind of stuff. So I will kick it off, but I'm not going to let you straight off the hook. I'm going to say one of mine, and then then it's going to be your turn.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I think that also, I'm going to give the listeners a heads up. I only realized this just before, and I said this to Kobe just before we got on here, was I taught everything I know to Kobe. And so there could be some double ups here. So I might say one and he might lose one. So there might only be 5 in total, even though we should have 10.
There's definitely going to be overlap. Like, I mean, how much can I learn considering the fact that you've taught me everything? Like, my personal experience is only so much based off the back end of yours.
Yeah. But the good thing about that is like you've obviously had your own journey as well. So I'll be interested to hear what yours are, and then I'll probably be more interested in you elaborating on yours.
Yeah, because I think we learn in different ways.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So me personally, I'm sure the listeners as well, be very interested in hearing. Like I learned them from my own textbooks. I wrote my own textbooks on them. I taught you them, the things that I learned that saved me a ton of time and energy. But it'll be interesting to hear what your perspective of them is now, if they are different, the same, whatever. So I'll take the first one to give you some time to think about your homework and look yourself in the mirror.
Disappointed in myself.
Okay, here we go. My first one. And I'm not. These aren't in any order for me. I actually think they're all equally valuable. But the first one for me was, don't take things so personally. Like, if I was going to go back to myself now, especially when I was starting out, like I was kind of like, oh, everything needs to be perfect. Everyone's going to be watching everything I'm doing. Everyone's going to like hate me if I get it wrong, all that kind of stuff. None of that was really true. My first one is very simple to explain. It's just, if you can get to a point where the decisions you make, the things that you do in business, you just don't take them so personally. If you had a phone call and you didn't get the result you wanted or something like that, if you just didn't take that so personally, you wouldn't be so scared to try again. So it's almost like an exercise in being able to let go, do an action, get a result, and just let go and move on. So my first one is, don't take things so personally.
I actually have one off the back end of that, which
go
straight off the bat. What I had was to get out there, just no matter what the response you're going to get, whether it's a Facebook post, whether it's something you want to do, no matter what it is, just put yourself out there. There's going to be so many people that are going to tell you no or like have a go at you. I mean, I remember one of the first times that I was doing cold calling, And I told you called this little clothing boutique, and that was so
I
rude.
remember. I
That
remember.
was so rude. I think I texted you, just be like, "I'm done with business. This is bullshit." Like that was
Yep.
awful,
Yeah.
and it had to be one of like genuinely the most awful feelings to have someone just be like, "Nah, like we don't need you." Really rude about it. And I mean, I took that personally at the time, and then probably like 10 minutes later, you're like, "Shut up." You're like, get over it. It happens all the time. But then I think it was also a really important learning experience to experience that kind of rejection and know, of course, for the fact that it's not something to take personally, and it's you've put yourself out there. I mean, the worst they can do is say no is absolutely not true. They could say so much worse.
That's worse.
way worse than saying no.
That's for sure.
But it's just getting out there, and if they treat you like that, I mean, obviously there's something wrong with them in the first place to be able to act like that to another person. But also just like, it's not you. Just move on. Next call.
They do go hand in hand because you're exactly right. It's like you have to put yourself out there. We almost, if you had done your homework properly, you should have gone first, and I should have gone second. But we didn't like this. But no, you're right. If you put yourself out there and you don't take things personally, those two things together will get you probably most of the way to where you need to be in business, because most people just don't put themselves out there in the first place. And then if they do, they get a no, or they get someone that's rude on the phone, and they go, "I'm not doing that anymore." So yeah, if you put those two together, you get huge results. Actually, when you said about that boutique, I remember exactly that. I've got a story. I don't even know if I told you this. This is from like year 2 in business, when I started managing properties for our customers.
Okay.
I called someone who a customer of mine had referred me to, and they were like, "Oh, call my friend Darren. He's got like 3 or 4 properties, and he doesn't, he manages them himself. He might need some help." So I just called Darren, because like it was a complete cold call, and I just said, "Oh, look, I know your friend Terry. He told me to give you a call, and what we're doing is managing properties, this, and this." And instead of him just being like, "Oh, dude, like I don't need that. Like the reason I have these properties is because I'm in construction myself, and because I have my own trade." Instead of saying that, he goes, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm 23 or 24. What was I? 24 at the time." And he goes, "Oh, dude," he's like, "I've been in business longer than you've been alive."
Oh my God.
He goes, "I don't need you." And he hung up on me. And I just, when he said that story about the boutique, I was just like sitting on the phone, second business, just like, fuck.
Yeah.
But no, 100%. Don't take. Yeah, but I didn't take it personally, and I think that like 2 years later for you, that phone call was like maybe a year ago, I think.
Yeah,
about a year ago,
probably
maybe a little more
now. Yeah,
maybe a little bit longer. And like that phone call was 5 years ago for me, and we're still here. Yeah, we got that weird thing on the phone, and we're still here. Like no one died. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, even like going out there, I think it's so important to not take things as close to heart, or like sort of filter what you take to heart in a situation of especially when you're really early on in business. Because like you've always said to me, like any experience, any data, that's all good. So even if you're very early on with starting your business, if someone's giving you feedback on something like that, it's important to, because you've gotten yourself out there, especially this ties on to last episode with not having experience. It's such a key thing, because if you get that feedback on there, after just putting yourself out there, even though you don't know what you're doing, anything that people say to you, you can take that on board and grow from there as well. So, I mean, it's such a big thing to just get out there, honestly.
100%. I completely agree. Do you want to give your number 2 first this time, or do you want me to go again?
I can do it. All right, sweet.
Let me do some homework and then do
Let me type this down. ChatGPT, what lessons did I learn?
What personal things did I learn? Thanks, AI.
Yeah, they know. Learn to talk to people. This was massive for me, because I hated talking to people.
That's true.
I still hate talking to people sometimes, but I hate it less. And I think it was so important to actually learn to speak to people, because, I mean, as much as I rub it in, I was on the news.
Were you on the news, bro? You never bring it up. I know. This is episode 5. I think you brought it up 5 times.
I don't think I've ever mentioned it. So for those who don't know, it's on the news.
Oh God.
But I really suffered with a lot of social anxiety to start off with. And I would always tell you, like, I refuse to get on the phone. I'm not doing it. I'm not talking to people. I hate people. And you were like, if you want to get anywhere, you have to learn to talk to people. That's what you need. No matter what, you need to learn to talk to people. So I did. And lo and behold, it actually helped me. So,
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of the feedback I've ended up getting was in the way that I talk, in the way that I communicate across to people in business and all that sort of stuff. So it actually become one of my stronger points from being one of my weakest abilities to now probably being something that I'm actually half decent at and getting me, in case you didn't know, on the news.
Wow. Were you on the? Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe this is something we celebrated, and now I'm never going to live this down.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna need a new co-host that hasn't been on the news.
Every time I'm gonna start every episode with just be like, "Welcome back. I was on the news."
I'm Coby from the Today Show.
You may have seen me on the Today Show. That's Life Magazine. Yeah. And you may notice Dale from this podcast and literally nothing else.
No, I should never have helped you do that. No. But no, I completely agree. I can. Well, I'm so angry at you. I can't even remember what was your point?
Learning to talk.
That's right. And that is, it is. And I think when we went through that, and like your story is unique because I didn't have like social anxiety or anything like that. I've always kind of been okay at talking to people. So it's two different journeys with that. But I think there's every different type of person is going to listen to that. So for people who are sitting there like, oh, okay, great. Everyone says I need customers, but they're people and I don't know how to talk to people. It's a skill. It can be learned. Yeah. And if the end goal justifies the means of like going, all right, cool, I'm going to practice this, then you can get better at it. And you can actually get to a point within 6 months, like Coby did, where the customers are going, dude, you're like, great. It's easy to work with you. Like it's easy to talk. You're easy to talk to. And it just makes your whole life easier, not even just in business, but relationships, everything. Like if you can communicate with people, it's really good. And one of the things I think you might even remember this. One of the things I would have said to you back then when you're like, I don't want to talk to people, I would have said, every single business that has ever existed is a person selling a thing to a person. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. Robots are great, AI is fantastic, but they don't buy anything. People buy. So you have to know how to communicate with people. So that's a very good one. I would say my second one off the back of that, which again is funny, they kind of mix up, is when you are communicating with people, my second biggest, well, not my second biggest, like I said, these are in no order, but this one is just do what you say you're going to do. You know, if you're going to communicate with someone, you're going to be, I'll be there at 8 a.m. Just do what you say you're going to do, because so many people aren't doing it. And this goes back to like last week as well, and even the podcast before, which is like doing the simple things really well makes a big difference. So if you're going to communicate with someone, you say, I'm going to take your photos, or I'm going to do your media, or I'm going to build your house, or I'm going to do whatever. These are the deadlines. These are the things. Just do your absolute best to do what you say you're going to do. And you'll probably be ahead of 60, 70% of the market, because people say stuff all the time and they don't even mean what they say. So if you just mean what you say, I think you'll be pretty good. If you can communicate with people and you do what you say you're going to do, that's another perfect pairing where business is just going to get it's a personal lesson that makes business way, way, way better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even in just like overall speaking, if you're like, so many people are so scared to mess up with when they talk, or like if they get on the phone, they're like, what if I say the wrong thing? I mean, even when we were doing it, we'd script out every single thing. What response are they going to say? What if they say yes? What if they say no? What if they tell me they don't need me and then they hang up on me? We didn't prepare on that, and I was devastated. But if we had have, I'm sure I would have been prepared. I mean, I've got, back when I worked as a manager of a gym, I just switched gyms. And the greatest story that I tell of anyone that I fucked up on the phone was, I picked up the phone and I went, hey, this is Coby from, enter name of the gym that I used to work at. And I went, oh, fuck, that's the wrong one. And I just hung up on them. I just gave up.
You're selling to the wrong gym.
Yeah. So it was the old gym. I was like, oh, shit. I just hung up on them. So yeah,
that's hilarious.
Someone has a voicemail there of me just going, hey, this is Coby from blank, and just going,
shit.
and then just hanging up the phone.
Oh,
If
that's
anyone
good.
has that, I need it. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. If you do, if somehow that person listens to this, send it in.
If you
Absolutely
happen
send
to
it
be
in.
that stranger that I called, like
Yeah.
well over 2 years ago, just let me
Hmm.
know
That's
because
great.
it's still just the best thing that I have. And I mean, so many times people are like, I'm scared of fucking up on the phone. And I'll just be like,
Hmm.
I do it.
Yeah, it
Happens
happens.
all the time.
It happens, 100%. I'm going to add a little bonus in here. I'm going to give a little bonus in here. It is off the back of those two.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
is if you're communicating to people, you're doing what you say you're going to do, a very important lesson to learn, probably something that we'll go into a little bit later. So maybe this is a sneak peek or something like that, is knowing the rule, my personal rule, which is it's never what you're saying, it's always how you say it.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. And like, even like, we communicate so much on email, text messages, and things like that. Like those tones and body languages and things like that don't come through.
No.
And it's always in business and personally as well. It's never what you say, it's always how you say it. That makes the biggest difference. So that won't make a lot of sense, and like we won't break into it now. But just kind of, if people listen to this and they kind of go, oh, okay, that's an interesting thought. How could I write this that would come across to the other person better? Like almost write it as if you're receiving it.
Mm,
That's probably like the shorthand version, but we can go into that more about, we'll probably in sales and stuff like that. We'll go more into that. But that's just a little tack on the back of that. Um, Anything to add on that, Cobes? Or I'm going to run on to the next one if you want.
no, we can run on to the next one.
Cool. My next one is knowing what you stand for, even as a young business owner,
Mm,
because like you can get into business with people who are doing shady stuff or, whatever, they're not treating their customer the best, or, there's tons of stuff like that. But if you know what you stand for, you can always at least try to do the right thing. And I think we've said on this podcast before, authenticity is one of the hardest things to fake. And if
yeah.
you are doing things for the wrong reasons, if it doesn't come up today, it will come up tomorrow. It's just one of those things that it's really hard to be consistent at. So know what you stand for, and then stick to them. And like morals, the thing I always say to myself is morals aren't morals if you pick and choose when to use them. So
Yeah.
if you say to yourself, like, you can, like, whatever belief you have about yourself, you go, oh no, like, I'm a nice person. If someone offered you $1 million to be a bad person and you choose to be a bad person, then they're not your morals because you're choosing when to do it. So if you believe in those things, you shouldn't pick and choose when to do them. You should just do them. And some of the best results I've ever gotten in business from this personal philosophy is that, just like, if you want someone that you can trust and someone you can call and rely on, I'm that guy. And I'm that guy, whether it's free, whether it's paid, whether it's whatever, because that's who I want to be. Those are my morals. So
Mm,
I would say know what you stand for. And if you know that, those are the things you don't flex on. You go, this is the kind of person I
yeah.
am.
Stick to them.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if it's $1 or $1 million. If it doesn't suit that, I'm not doing it. The world becomes a better place because you're in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always rewarded as well.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, in the long run, absolutely.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't really have anything else to add on to that. I think you covered that really well.
Thanks, man.
Well done. You're a good co-host today.
Thanks, dude. All right, what's your next one?
Which one am I gonna
Are
go
you
off
out?
for this?
Okay, all right. I thought you were out already.
No, I'm not out, not just yet. Chat GPT. No, I think something that we always spoke on a lot, and this is probably going to resonate with a lot of people, is your mental health and your physical health is so important for your business. I mean, you going in and breaking your back for your work and everything like that. And I think even early on in business, I would always message you and just be like, dude, my mental health is so shit right now. I hate this. I'm not where I want to
Stressed
be.
out. Yeah.
I'm like overstressed, I'm overworked, I'm everything. And I think the first thing you would always tell me is like, you are the business, like look after yourself first, otherwise the business isn't there. And it's gonna take a downfall because of that. And I mean, even you physical health sort of wise, you broke your back within business and everything like that. And it literally shouldn't take mental breakdowns and breaking your back to be able to have a good business.
100%. That's a super important point. And I always say, like I say to everyone, I don't think there's been someone who's come through the Sequoia project at all that is starting in business, been in business 10 years, doesn't matter. They've, at one point, all of them have said, I'm stressed out, or I'm tired, or I'm overworked, or this is really hard, or whatever it is. And I always say, to be the best at anything, even to be the best version of yourself, to be the best at it, you have to be the best at rest. Okay. All the people that we look up to, the Hall of Famers in any sport, anything that you want, they also have to be the best at rest. You cannot go and play 82 games a season without resting in between. Your body will break down. You won't be the greatest of all time because you only last one season. So you have to get to a point where you can manage yourself and get to and perform at a very high level consistently, rather than doing these 120s to zeros, 150s to zeros. You'd be better off just performing at 85% forever, and you'll get in the Hall of Fame.
I mean,
so you got to be good at rest.
Like in a general sense, like muscles built from rest. Like if anyone goes to the gym sort of situation, rest is the most important thing. Anything in life, as long as you're resting that 8 hours, that's when your overall recovery happens. That's when you're able to get peak for the next day. So it's all up. Rest is extremely important for both mental and physical health there.
Yeah, for sure. And like one last thing to throw with it is like, if you're a gym guy, if you're an athlete or anything like that, exactly what Coby said. If you're not that kind of person, it doesn't matter. The biggest machines in the world, the biggest engines in the world have to shut down for maintenance. Take any single thing that performs at a very high level. There's always a maintenance rest period built into it. But we get into our heads, oh, you have to hustle 24/7. For some reason, we don't zoom out and look at the rest of the world and go, well, hold on a second. You whatever, take anything, the economy.
Yeah.
It doesn't just go up all the time. Like anything that you want, there's always a period of reprieve, break, where what's happening doesn't happen anymore just for a minute. The engine stops working so you can change the filter, change the oil. The body stops working so you can rest and recover. There's always that thing, but we just think in business you don't have that. A very good point. I like that one.
We really just showed our history there with my fitness history, your engineering history. We both just like related it back there. Machines and 100%.
Yeah, no, we're a couple of meatheads.
Yeah, right.
But that's very good. That actually plays on the back of me because on the back of my next one, which is
we're
competition.
Good at this.
We are really good, and we didn't plan any of this. This is zero rehearsal, by the way, guys. But my next one is know what competition actually means, because you can wear yourself out competing with the wrong people at the wrong time, all that kind of stuff. If anyone wants to know a commonality between a lot of high performance people, it's that they don't look at the rest of the market or the people directly adjacent to them as the competition. The reason for that is because no one is harder on you than yourself. No one knows 100% of what you're going through than you do. And that's why that competition, that internal competition, is the hardest one. It's the hardest level to play at. Now, because it's so hard, a lot of people avoid it and they go, oh, I'm competing with Coby, or I'm competing with Dale, or I'm competing with Jack, or whatever it is, because there's so many unknowns in there. There's a safety net in there. You can go, oh, well, Jack probably X, or Jack doesn't know that I probably X. But if you compete with yourself, there are nowhere to hide. So for me, knowing what competition actually is and being able to use it to benefit you rather than to break you down, you look at someone else's Instagram and you go, oh, well, my business isn't as good as that, or I'm not as far ahead as that. Doesn't mean shit. You don't know, like you don't know for a fact anything. That's just what you see. So when you compete with yourself, you can go, well, I know where I was last week. I can be honest with myself. Did I do better than that this week? Am I improving? Am I better at communication this week? Am I better at the things I'm measuring? You can't run from those answers. So knowing what competition is and making it healthy competition. If you can compete with yourself, not only are you playing at the highest level, because no one's harder on you than you are, but if you can succeed at that level, then the rest of the competition don't matter because they're not playing the same game.
I think what's interesting there as well is to learn the difference between competition and community. I mean, so many other people within your industry will be willing to help and give advice and all that sort of stuff and build community based off it. Not everyone that's in your industry is going to be your competition. Sometimes they can be your best friend to help with it.
Yep.
And I think that's really important to acknowledge. I mean, even early on, when I started photography, I think I reached out to literally every photographer in the area and just asked for advice. And it got me a chance to go and learn videography from another one around there, just because, I mean, I reached out, and like not everyone around there is your competition because you're all doing the same thing. You're all doing it differently and doing it your way.
For sure. Competition and community, very different, and a good distinction there as well. Spot on, man.
Thanks, Dad.
Good.
Really praising me there. This is actually the only last one that I only prepared for. And it was mentioned probably earlier on in one of the podcasts is prepare. No matter what, prepare. Whether you're going out for a photo shoot, whether you're getting ready for a meeting, whether you're getting ready for a podcast and Dale sends you the message 5 minutes prior, prepare. Just make sure you have any kind of scenario that you know is going to go on. Know sort of the preparation, everything behind it. Write it down, pretty much figure out what your system is going to be, and make sure that it's simple enough that if you were able to give it to someone else, they would be able to do it dead on exactly how you do it. Preparation is such an important thing, and it's something that you have drilled into me since the very first photo shoot we had.
Yeah, for sure. There's no substitute for it. There's nothing that you can do in business that will get you as high a reward for the amount of effort underneath preparation. And I think when you said there, like, find a system that works for you. If I was going to make a recommendation for that system, the one that's always worked for me, the one that from day 1 to year 7, is best and worst case scenarios. Like, if you don't know where to start, if you're like, all right, cool, I want to be prepared, this is the best one. Shoot the worst case scenario, shoot the best case scenario, and go, okay, well, if I go out there and everything went terribly, what would I do? If everything was as bad as it could be, what would I do? And if everything was as good as it could be, what would I do? That way, no matter what, there's no surprises. So if you rock up and it starts raining and all this kind of stuff, and you go, that's cool, we'll do a weather shoot. I got umbrellas. I bought a tarp. I bought whatever. That way, even the worst case scenario is fine. Everything in between that, if you've got the best case covered and the worst case covered, everything between that you can work out. But if you need a system, if you're listening to Coby there and you go, oh, that's a really good point, it is. My recommendation for a system is shoot for best and worst case. I use it all the time. It's the only thing that I live by when I'm going into a situation. How do I prepare? What's the best case? What's the worst case? Preparation for both. Everything in the middle is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I even had a situation, which I'm not sure whether I told you about this, was a little while ago at a wedding that I shot, booked so long in advance. I did their actual, like, their engagement shoot and all that sort of stuff. And I was dead set on knowing where it was. We spoke about it in the engagement shoot. Day came there. I showed up, realized I was in the wrong spot, and then had to literally drive an hour to get to the next spot, which I made it in far less than an hour.
But of course, you were doing the speed limit and driving very
absolutely.
responsibly.
I was very responsible, and I made an hour drive, half an hour. It was very responsible of me. And rocked up there, and not a single person noticed that we were late. Rocked up and did the entire shoot, did videography, photography, all that sort of stuff. Everyone said it looked like we were just meant to be there, and that was because I was prepared. I knew exactly where we were going to set up. I knew exactly how it was going to run. I knew everything like that, so I could, the moment I showed up, even though it was a pretty bad case scenario that I was there a little bit later and that I'd gotten the wrong spot, I knew exactly what I was going to do and actually didn't end up missing anything. Still showed up for the ceremony, still did all of that sort of stuff, and still got exactly the outcome that they were expecting. And that was all just because of the preparation there.
Yeah, for sure. And we get pedantic about this, like in my businesses and also in Coby's businesses. It's like down to the point where you know what side of the car the extension cables are in. Like, you know what door to open, so that you're not filtering through the car looking for a million things. You just go, cool, all electronics, back right-hand side. Like, that's how the level of preparation. So you can have something like that. The car could break down. You need to put the spare tire on, something like that. You can still rock up and knock people's socks off because you're that prepared. So I
even had that. Like, I had someone else with me and I just let her know. I was like, all right, camera back seat, open up the boot. You're going to go left side, grab this tripod, that sort of stuff. It was, you knew exactly where it was, and it made it so much quicker.
Yeah, for sure. So preparation is absolutely key there. I might just do one more. What are we at? 29 minutes. I reckon I'll just do one more and we'll cap it off.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need the key takeaways from this because all of this was key takeaways. Yeah. I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mine were better.
Cool.
They were personal to me, which made them better.
Okay, right. Okay, fine. The last thing that I will say on this is, if you can get into, like, all of these above, absolutely. But if you can get into the habit of only focusing on things that are within your control, you will save a ton of time and worry and stress, and you'll be able to move a lot faster and a lot more efficiently if you're not worrying about things that you cannot have any impact on. So you can identify the things that you can control do them as good as they can be done, you can basically relieve yourself of the guilt or responsibility or the pressure if you can go, oh, well, I couldn't control that it rained. I knew that was a possibility. I prepared for that, but I can't control that it rained. So
That's good.
You can just let go.
I'm a little pissed I didn't say that one with the amount that you've told me.
Well, I mean, you just started bragging about how good your shit was, and I was like, well, I'm just going to kill that.
Yeah, but I was on the news, so.
Yeah, you were on the news. That's right. I remember you saying that one time.
Yeah, that's such a good one. I remember constantly that I'd tell you something like, well, is there anything you can do about it right now? I'm like, no. And you just go, then it isn't real.
But we literally had this, 2 days ago, you texted me and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to separate the brands so that there's no confusion between the ads and the photography. And I was like, how many people have asked you about, like, come to you confused about that? And you're like, none. And I was like, so, like, shut up then.
Yeah, then it's not a problem. Yeah. Please don't waste my time.
Literally. It's what's outside of your control is what the customers think. And if the customers aren't giving you the feedback, then don't waste the time.
I would have so many things that I'd come to you and I'd be like, this is the issue. And you're like, and I think it was such a key thing. Is there anything you can do about it now? Was always something you'd say. And I'd be like, nah. You go, well, it's out of your control. That's not on you. Or if there's something that a customer did, or if there was something that I needed to fix for any client, you would always say, is there anything you can do for it now? And if the answer was no, then it's not real. If you can't actively do something about it, or if it's not in your control in the slightest, then that's not real. That's not something you need to focus on and waste your time on.
Yeah, 100%. And if you can get it to a point, step 2 of that is get it to a point where, is there anything that I could do to avoid this in the future? Is there anything I can do to make this better? What is the contingency for this kind of thing happening? Then you just build out this list of, like, whatever happens, I know what to do in every scenario. And that's basically been like my last 7 years and even Coby's last 2 years, which is like, all right, cool. There was an earthquake. Actually, even on the Gold Coast, there was a cyclone. And we had, I hadn't dealt with a natural disaster. There wasn't a cyclone of that size for like 70 years or something on the Gold Coast. And I hadn't dealt with a nature of like something that disaster. I haven't dealt with a natural disaster yet in my business career. So from taking into account all the other procedures we have laborers on standby for jobs that don't work out and we need more people for. We have all that kind of stuff. And I literally just looked through our processes sheet and I was like, okay, well, we could just call the guys on standby. We could put them on for the next 2 weeks because we know our customers are going to be like, oh, we just got our pool done and it's, it's been ruined by the cyclone. We just got our flyover put in. Our investment properties got damaged. We knew that was going to happen. So I just went, all right, let's just take all these guys off this list and put them on for the next 2 weeks. And then that way we can cover it when the phone calls come in. That's exactly what happened. And you just build out this contingency list of like, all right, cool, I've dealt with enough stuff now. I know how to deal with this. And it just becomes easy if you can do that. If you go, that's not within my control. Is there anything I could do about it? If the answer is no, let it go and move on. If the answer is, then if you get to a point where you can go, could I prepare for this in the future? Could I have done something better? Then your business is getting better every day.
Yeah. Unreal.
Get out of my face, Coby. Those are some good things that you can take away in their personal stuff. So that they're things that you can work on in your spare time. Have a think about. If any of those things you go, I do things a bit personally, or I am comparing myself to everyone else except for me. These are things that you can start to think about now, whether you're in business, whether you're starting business, whether you've been in business for 10 years. I know guys that make a ton of money, like a lot of money, that still struggle with comparing themselves to everyone else.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask them 10 years ago, hey, if you made this much money, would you be happy? They'd say, of course. They're miserable because they're comparing themselves to everyone else around them. The difference is if your goal is to if the only thing that gives you value, that makes you feel good, is having the most money, sorry to say, man, there's always going to be someone that has more money than you. Like the chances that you become the richest man in the world is probably pretty low. Anyone can make money. I'm not saying that, but there will always be someone that makes more money than you. So if your value comes from, I make a bunch of money and that's what makes me happy, well, then you're going to be pretty sad. It's just as simple as that. But if you can figure out how to compare yourself to yourself and compete with yourself, then you'll always be progressing, and that feels pretty good.
I think it's really cool to acknowledge that despite the fact that you're so deep in business and I've got like a completely different level of business, both of ours were still so similar. I mean, sure, you taught me all of them, but they're still important things that you use to this day, and both of ours were literally like back ends off the other one.
100%. Yeah, it's like the same. It's different side of the same coin.
Yeah,
and,
no matter what stages we're in.
Yeah, and that speaks to what we always say. We always say, like, there is a foundational understanding that if you get to that point, everything on top of that can be personality, it can be niche, it can be what industry you're in, it can be all that kind of stuff. But if you want it to work, it's like riding a bicycle. If you don't touch the pedals, it won't work. There's a foundational level of do this and you will get closer to your result. And all of these things have contributed to both of us in major ways, to the point where business has become a lot simpler.
Absolutely.
Cool. So if you're listening, if you like that stuff, just do one of these things, pop one of them on there. We're just trying to have conversations that make people think differently about business, and maybe help get some people into business if they're not already, doing better business if they are already, and making it a lot less stressful along the way. So yeah, all the links are in the description. Go nuts, have a bit of fun, and if you need it, I think even if you want to reach out to us directly, like we'd love to hear what you guys want to hear about. If there's something like specifically that you're like,
absolutely,
I want to talk about that more, hit us up. Whatever. We're pretty personable, and have a chat to us, and we'll get what we can to you.
Leave a comment, send a DM on any of the social medias. For those that were listening, Dale put a thumbs up and said to leave the likes. It's an audio podcast as well, Dale.
I'm looking at us. I'm looking at us. I'm like, everyone sees this.
Yeah, everyone sees that thumbs up.
Yeah, do one of them likey things. But otherwise, we hope you're enjoying the conversations. We're going to keep them coming. We're having a lot of fun. You having fun? I'm having fun.
I'm having fun. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, hit us up on the links if you need us. Otherwise, we'll be back next week and talking about some more fun stuff.
Catch you guys in the next episode.